2021. We're cooking sap. We've got about 90 gallons so far. We fired this up this morning. This is a liter evaporator. It's the liter half pint. We're going to be building a sugar shack this summer, and we're going to be upgrading to a bigger evaporator. But this does a nice job. It cooks about 8 gallons of sap per hour. To get it started, I put 15 gallons in it. And this is your pre-warmer. You pour your sap, which is cold, we pour that in there. You just keep that full. And then back here we've got a valve. And we just let that drip in, and that goes in one side of the channel, and it's got holes down here. So it comes down this channel. It's called gradient. The fresh, lighter sap, the water, comes this way, comes through a hole, and it pushes it down this way, out that hole, and towards the end here. We've got a digital thermometer with an alarm on it. I've got it set for 219 degrees. It'll beep at about 217. It'll give us one beep. And this little red light will come on. It'll let us know it's getting close. So then we'll put a jar down here, and we got a funnel and a filter. And then we'll break that tap open a little bit. And we'll let it go down into our filter and our funnel into the jar. When that gets back down to 218, we shut it off. Now the first time, like I said, I started out with 15 gallons. We probably put another 10 gallons in so far. It takes a while to get your first draw. But once we get our first draw, this will start happening fairly consistently. Again, this is the liter half pint. We got a door on the front here. I'm going to check the wood right now. First of all, I'm going to top my warming pan off. This is our sap we collected. All these buckets back here have sap in them.
Yeah. That's the one time, Daddy. That's yours. That's mine.
Now, anyone that's researching this or interested in doing it, again, you can get much bigger ones. Depends on how much sap you want to do. In a full day, we'll get about 2 gallons of maple syrup. And we're talking about a 10-hour day. We're going to get a bigger one. I'm probably going to set up a tank that can come down gravity fed, and you can get these with floats systems in them where you don't have to. We measure it. I just got a square here. I'll dip it in there. You want your sap between 1 and 1.5 inches. You don't want it real high, but you don't want it too low, or you'll start burning it. You can get as fancy as you want. You can spend as much money, but this is very economical. It beats cooking it in a pan over a fire. That's the first time I did it. It takes a lot longer, and it's a lot more work, and just for a little bit of syrup, and it ends up tasting smoky. One advantage to getting something. That's why I got this stack. Got an old freezer here. I bolted the stack on it. I want any ashes coming out in smoke. I want the wind carrying that off. Otherwise, when you do it over fire, anyone's done over a fire, if you like smoky, smoke-flavored maple syrup, it's the way to go, but I don't. We've got a seal all the way around this that this pan sits on, so all your heat stays up underneath the pan. But I just take this and I'll dip it in here every now and then. Look at my watermark. We're at about 2 3/4 inches, or 1 3/4, so we're good. We're going to leave it drip just the way it is. This is foaming up here. That's what you want. Now you can get defoamer. Some people use canola oil. You can buy defoamer. I don't mess with it. I don't put anything in my syrup. I don't want any canola oil in there. I don't want anything in it. The other thing you can do, what's called finishing. Some people don't get it right at 219, and there's more, and I'm not going to get into that. I'm just talking about evaporating the sap today, but you want your sap to get to 219 degrees, 7 degrees above the temperature of boiling water. When you get to that point, that's when your syrup's ready. If you get under that, you're going to get mold in your syrup. you go below that, your syrup's going to crystallize over time. So some people, they'll draw this off when it gets close, and then they'll finish it off either on a propane burner with a pot on it, or they'll take it in the kitchen, put it on the stove. If you use one of these little deals here, and you'll see us do it, wait till it hits 219 and you start drawing off, and you shut it off when it gets to 218. Just keep doing that. We've got jars. I've got a jar of sap that's 7 years old. No mold, no crystallization or anything, and I don't cook it off. You can get hydrometers, you do specific gravity, you can do all that stuff, but this is all I do. When I get it right with this tap, just in front of the tap, where it's going to come out. When it hits 219, I just start drawing it off slowly, and then turn it off. Keep your draft all the way open. You want this fire to stay as hot as possible, and you want to keep this full of wood. And you want small pieces of wood like this. This is good hardwood here. You want nice pieces. You don't want to put big pieces in there because they're just going to smolder. You want small pieces that burn quick. And just keep topping that off about every 5 to 10 minutes. You want to check this and add more wood. You got fire bricks all over in there, so you don't want to throw your wood in there. You don't want to crack your bricks. You can see we got a good fire going in there, and that's the way you want to keep it. Now that'll go down a little bit. It'll stop boiling a little bit till that gets going, but that's what you want to do. You don't want to let this get down and you look in your pan and it's not boiling anymore. Because part of keeping that gradient, pushing that sap, is that boiling action. The lighter sap, and just keeps pushing this way. You don't want it to, if you let it stop boiling, that's all going to level out again. That's kind of going to mix together. You want to keep this process going. Again, they've got a damper down here. You can close it, but we keep it wide open. Keep it wide open and keep that fire going as hot as you can. I started this at 9 o'clock. I fired this up 10 minutes till 9. It's almost 12, so it's been 8:50 to 11:50, 3 hours. So we're probably not going to draw our first syrup off for another 2 to 3 hours at least. I'm being optimistic. 2 hours would be nice, but probably more like 3 or 4 hours. But once it starts, then it's a nice steady process. Just getting that first batch cooked down. You can get that's perfect. Inch and a half, inch and 5/8. You can get, and I'll probably maybe you got a nice patch of woods where we're going to put the sugar shack right where the trees are. But you can get little things on here that shows your level, and you don't have to do what I'm doing. All what you want to invest, you can invest $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 if you're going to get a real big one. But it's all about bells and whistles. What do you want? You want your wood small, thin pieces like this, so it burns hot and fast. You don't want to put big pieces in there. You're not going to get the heat. You want small pieces, about like that. No bigger than that. Sometimes you get a knotty piece like this, but I worked it. I got it down. It's big enough. But you can see there. Nice thin piece, little pieces. We're teetering between 218 and 219. Once it stays at 219 for a little bit, I'll start drawing it off real slow. It's getting real close. The sugar is concentrated in the liquid now, so it's bubbling up because it's getting much hotter than 212. It's up to 218, almost 219. We're real close.
Is that what snaps onto it?
That's what we want. It's $2.19. Okay. Liquid gold. It's getting dark. It's about 6:37, somewhere in there. This is our third draw. It took 6 hours to get our first draw.